Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be breaking down the NHL DFS slate for Thursday, February 9th. We got ourselves a 7-game slate here tonight where I'm going to go through a couple of my favorite line stacks, some of my favorite individual plays, and some of my favorite value plays, and then we'll wrap up today's video talking a little prize picks. With that being said, let's dive into my spreadsheet here. And we're going to kick things off here like we always do in the top left-hand corner with those highest implied game totals, where you can see 2 of these games are coming in with an implied total of 7 goals, 2 games coming in at 6.5, 2 games at 6 goals even, and then just 1 game there between the Golden Knights and Wild coming in at 5.5 goals. And then take a look down here at the Vegas odds, where you can see each team who's favored to win tonight. And then here's a schedule update for the rest of this week. NHL video here today, but again, I am heading to Vail, Colorado tonight, staying there through the weekend, so no NHL content Friday through Sunday. However, I will be back on Monday breaking down that NHL DFS slate, and I'll be trying to be in the Discord as much as I can this weekend as well, talking some NHL DFS and prize picks. If you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. With that being said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight, starting with that second line for the Florida Panthers. We got Bennett centering Verhaeghe and Tkachuk. I really like how this line is played all year long, and it's kind of hard to ignore how well they have played together. I'm actually looking on moneypuck.com right now. This line here leads the entire NHL in expected goals per 60 minutes. For a long time, it's been that third line of the Calgary Flames with Mangiapane, Backlund, and Blake Coleman, who you can see I got listed below. But as of late, this second line here for Florida has taken over that category, or leads that category now. And they played some great hockey here as of late too, having combined for 18 goals, 22 assists, 40 points in their past 10 games. And no reason to think they can't expand on that here tonight at home against the San Jose Sharks, who have really slumped defensively here as of late, having allowed 4 goals per game over their past 6, with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 70% rate. And then a cheaper line stack that I like here tonight is that second line for the Calgary Flames, and for what it's worth, I know I just name dropped that third line for the Flames. I absolutely think they're in play too. But this second line here is a lot more affordable than I thought they would have been, and I do like the upside between these three, in Kadri, Pelletier, and Huberdeau. Now, they've only played 4 games together, but in those 4 games, I like what I've seen. It's been a small sample size, I understand that, but in those 4 games, they have a 3.93 expected goals per 60 minutes. That would rank as the second best in terms of line stacks for this Flames team on the season, just behind that third line of Backlund, Coleman, and Mangiapane. So again, I think both of those lines are definitely in play. They have a solid matchup here tonight against Detroit, who are definitely not a great defensive team. Now folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Again, I have that Discord channel too, and if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. We got a great group of people in there talking some hockey and prize picks. And for those of you who are on Twitter, I am occasionally posting some NHL bets on there as well, if you want to give me a follow there. Alright, now diving into some of my favorite individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards. Now the first guy I got is Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers, and I do like the matchup against Philadelphia tonight. However, I really foresee myself being in this 5 to 6K range for the most part when it comes to forwards, and I'd rather pay up for Matthew Tkachuk over Leon Draisaitl. But being that Draisaitl is currently playing on a line with McDavid, or at least he did last game, the Oilers shuffle their lines so much, it's hard to keep track of what they got going on. But he did play with McDavid last game, 5-on-5, and obviously on that #1 power play. And whenever those two are together, the upside is massive. Some of the best, if not the best, in the NHL. So at $8,300 here, I certainly don't mind the play. Like I said, I prefer someone like Matthew Tkachuk, but if we take a look here at Draisaitl's numbers, they've been great all year long, we know this, and he's racked up 7 goals, 7 assists, 14 points in just his past 10 games. Now, this next play here with Jack Eichel is tournament or GPP only. I would not trust him in my cash lineup right now because he's not playing his best hockey. Just 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points here in his past 10 games. However, I do believe some positive regression is coming his way. He's got 12 shots on net here in just his last 2 games. No goals to show for it. He keeps shooting the puck like that. He's eventually going to find the back of the net and have himself a big game. And I kind of like the matchup here tonight on the road against the Minnesota Wild, who are not only playing on back-to-back nights after losing last night in Dallas, but then they got to travel back from Dallas to Minnesota. So I do like that matchup there. And Vegas, for what it's worth, looked really good against Nashville just the other night, returning from the All-Star break. I then got Brock Nelson there and Anders Lee of the New York Islanders. Both of these guys currently playing on the second line in number 1 power play together. Great matchup at home against the Vancouver Canucks, a team that has struggled defensively all year long, having allowed 3.94 goals per game. That's the second most in the NHL, and they've legitimately had the worst penalty kill in the NHL all year long, hitting at just a 65.8% rate. So again, I like that because both these guys currently play up on the number 1 power play, and for what it's worth, both these guys actually lead the Islanders team in expected goals this year, and that includes over Bo Horvat. Now, Horvat leads the team in goals, but I think there's going to be so much focus on him in that first line with Barzal. You got the revenge narrative here. Horvat scored in his last game with the Islanders. I think there's going to be a lot of popularity around Bo Horvat in that first line tonight, so I like pivoting to the second line here, which is not only very affordable, but I like the upside between those two as well. And then I got Scott Laughton there of the Philadelphia Flyers, who's currently playing up on both the first line and number 1 power play right now, so I certainly like that considering the price here at $4,600, and really, I'm kind of targeting him on that number 1 power play, not because Philadelphia has been a juggernaut on the power play by any means this year, but largely due to the matchup here against the Oilers, who have struggled on the penalty kill, hitting at just a 75.7% rate. That's the 10th worst in the NHL this year, and they've taken the 9th most minor penalties as well. So considering the price and considering the matchup, I do like him here. He can be a little bit boom and bust at times. He might get you 5 DraftKings points here tonight, but he also has the upside of getting you 20, 25 plus, and he could really crush his value at this price. Now, moving over here to the defensemen, first 2 guys that I got there, Aaron Ekblad, Noah Dobson. I really like the value that they offer here in the 5K range, and again, I love the matchups. I've broken down both already here today. Ekblad against the San Jose Sharks. You could stack him up with any one of those forwards on the number 1 power play. And Dobson, I'd like doing a 3-man stack with him, Brock Nelson, and Anders Lee up on that number 1 power play in a great matchup against the Vancouver Canucks. I then got Noah Hanifin there of the Calgary Flames. Now, it'll be interesting to see how the Flames roll out their power play tonight. For most of the season, it's been Rasmus Andersson on the number 1 power play as the number 1 defenseman, but last game against the New York Rangers, we saw Hanifin lead all defensemen in power play time, getting on that number 1 power play against the New York Rangers, and they had 3 power plays in that game. Not entirely sure if that will be the case here tonight, but even if Hanifin is down on the number 2 power play, I do like him at this price tag here. He's been a little bit more inconsistent this year than we've seen in years past, but this is someone who still has some really nice upside. He's hit 21 DraftKings points in just 2 of his last 5 games. Again, getting 4-5x value at this current price. And then if I'm really looking to save some money tonight at the defenseman position, Damon Severson of the New Jersey Devils has played some great hockey here as of late, and we've notoriously relied on him to rack up DraftKings points by getting on the score sheet. And while he does have 1 goal, 6 assists, 7 points here in his past 10 games, I like the way he's been blocking shots too. 26 here in his past 10 games, averaging around 2.5 per game, and averaging close to 11.5 DraftKings points per game during that 10-game stretch. Not bad at all for a guy priced here in the mid 3K range. And then I got a couple of goaltenders there for you, higher priced and kind of a mid-priced option here. I will say that I do like Andre Vasilevsky of the Tampa Bay Lightning too. Now, he got routed for 7 goals the other day against the Florida Panthers after returning from the All-Star break, but he's notoriously bounced back from those types of games, and while he does have a tough matchup here tonight at home against the Colorado Avalanche, I think you could see 30, 35 plus shots in this game, and if he only allows 1 or 2 goals, he could have some really nice upside. But if I'm going to spend up here tonight, my favorite goaltender is Ilya Sorokin of the New York Islanders. He's been great at home all year long, with a goals allowed average of 1.81 and a save percentage of .939. Awesome numbers there. there, averaging close to 18 DraftKings points per game, and he is coming fresh off of a shutout where he had 32 saves and racked up 32.5 DraftKings points. Now, if I want to save some money here, I do like Logan Thompson of the Vegas Golden Knights. He's definitely had some ups and downs this year, but again, Vegas looked really good in that matchup against Nashville, returning from the All-Star break the other day, and they are catching this Minnesota Wild team playing on back-to-back nights after playing in Dallas just last night. And as always, going to wrap up the spreadsheet here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. First guy I got there is Nhl Tolvanen of the Seattle Kraken. I kind of like the Kraken here tonight on the tournament side of things, especially if Jack Hughes misses for the Devils tonight. He did get hurt in practice yesterday. Sounds like he's day-to-day and very well could play tonight, but do keep an eye on that. Again, if he misses, I kind of like the Kraken side for tournaments because they're not only very affordable, but they've shown some nice upside at times this year as well. Tolvanen's currently playing on the third line and playing up on the number 1 power play. He's racked up 8 goals, 2 assists, 10 points in 16 games ever since joining the Kraken after being with the Nashville Predators, and he did play a season-high 17.5 minutes last game. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. Next guy I got there is Blake Coleman. I talked about that third line in general for the Calgary Flames. I absolutely think they're in play tonight. If you wanted to stack up Coleman with Backlund and Mangiapane, I've had some really nice upside at times this year, and we've really seen that out of Blake Coleman here as of late, where he's racked up 4 goals, 6 assists, and 36 shots on net over his past 10 games, averaging close to 14 DraftKings points per game, crushing value at his price tag here. So yeah, I like him as a single play. I like him stacked up with that third line, or really anybody on that third line for the Flames. And then getting back to the Seattle Kraken here, Jaden Schwartz playing up on the first line in number 2 power play right now. 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points in his past 10, but he actually leads this Kraken team in expected goals this year, even after missing 9 games. And then to wrap up this video here, want to talk a little prize picks with you guys. For starters, if you have not signed up for prize picks yet, but you want to get in on this action, I got a promo code that you should definitely take advantage of. When you're signing up, use my promo code GRIFF. GRIFF, and PrizePicks will give you all the way up to a $100 match deposit. Now, you do not have to put $100 in either. If you want to put in $50, they'll match $50. You want to put in $20, they'll match that $20. And again, they'll match anything up to $100 as long as you're using my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, upon signing up. Now, for those of you who've been playing prize picks with me this year, you guys know how the story goes. First of all, I gotta wait for all the picks to come out. Nothing on the goalie side as I record here this morning. Once those do come out, I'll do my research, go through the picks individually, and then let you know my final picks in a comment below on this video, and I'll be sure to pin that comment as well. But don't forget, I am posting those picks in my Discord channel too, and if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 7-game slate. In the meantime, I'm out of here.